Relay dissolve up.
On WDRB News.
Stand by Emmy 2A, B sound.
Not guilty.
The only officer charged in the Breonna Taylor raid acquitted.
Proud of the work of our prosecutors, continue to be proud of the work that they've undertaken.
Brett Hankinson not guilty on all 3 counts.
20.
The response to today's verdicts.
Justice was
10.
done. The verdict was proper.
Stand by Emmy 2A with B sound clean.
And what's next?
5. Stand by to
The
tween.
police have a responsibility, and they have a responsibility to do things correctly.
Tween, roll B. Stand by to push back. Stand by. Mike the anchors, push back Q.
Protests tonight in response to the acquittal
Stand by
of the
X
only
sound
officer charged
clean.
in the Breonna Taylor raid.
Stand by to tween.
WDRB in-depth
Stand by to tween to
tonight
X
with
sound
team
clean.
coverage on the decision. First, a look at how it happened.
Tween, roll X.
We, the jury, found the defendant, Brett Hankinson,
All right, give me words in the L2.
Brett Hankinson lost his job, but he will not.
Gil will
lose his
tag
career.
standing at the
Former
L2
LAPD
next to the
detective
words,
shaking
camera
his
1.
head as the jury returned verdict
Chad,
Thursday.
Emmy 2A, 466.
Justice was done. The verdict was proper, and we're thrilled.
2, live
6
view
days of
1, Emmy
testimony,
3A.
30 witnesses called, and the jury deliberated.
Move that to the B
It may
side.
have been Hankinson's own words that swayed them most.
Sergeant Mattingly.
A side will start single, single. Stand by super. Stand by super. Add super.
Trying to get to him. And it
And we are
appeared to
doing
me
the reveal
that
on the side monitor.
Yes.
they were being
Lose
executed
super.
with this rifle.
Oh, sorry.
Testified in his own defense
Love it.
for
Let's do
4
it.
hours,
What did you do?
talking about the night police killed Breonna Taylor
I returned fire.
in a drug raid.
What back to me?
Hankinson always said he thought someone was shooting from Breonna Taylor's apartment with an AR-15. A rifle was never found. Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, fired
No,
one
just show me
shot
both.
from a handgun.
Just show me
when
both.
officers reached the door, thinking they were
Have her
being
stand
robbed.
right in the middle if you can.
Sergeant John Mattingly was
There you
hit
go.
in the leg. Police returned a hail of bullets, and Taylor died. The raid set off months.
1 minute, 1 minute away.
Civil unrest in Louisville
They'll
and
tag at
throughout
the
the
L2.
country.
There's somebody in there, Dad.
Stand by super.
Hankinson was the only officer charged, not for killing Taylor, but for bullets that went through her apartment and into her neighbor's home.
I think absolutely.
Add
Brett
super.
was, the jury felt like, you go out and perform your duty, and your brother officer gets shot, and
Lose super,
you've got a
30
right to
seconds.
defend yourself.
Stand by super. Add super.
Through this sliding door, put his own fellow officers at risk.
Lose super.
An attorney for Taylor's family claims
20 away
prosecutors
from
tried to
camera
give
1
away
tag, then
the
camera
facts,
3.
The jury got it wrong. Sam Aguiar telling WDRB, the jury just told the world that officers can shoot blindly through doors and
10.
windows without it being criminal. Their verdict means that even if Hankinson would have killed
5.
all 3 people in apartment 3,
Stand by 1.
it would not have been a crime.
Take 1. Stand by camera 3.
Taylor's family left the courthouse without making comments.
Take.
Well, it is a mix
Stand by to
of
make your
anger
move.
and relief in Louisville tonight with the not guilty
Make your
verdict
move.
for Hankinson.
Stand by live
WDRB
view
Breon
4.
Martin picks up
Stand by to
that
live
part of the
tween
story.
with.
Breon?
Live tween.
Hankinson's attorney feels
Stand
that
by
the
A,
jury
VO, under.
did deliver justice today.
Lose the words in the
Across
L2.
Louisville, those opinions
Stand by A,
are
VO, under.
varied.
Relay
We'll
take.
watch this moment
Stand by
in time.
B,
This
sound.
verdict falls almost 2 years
Under.
exactly after the fatal police raid. Melissa Newell disagrees with the outcome and says justice was not served.
Safe in the side
More
monitor.
needs to happen to prove that.
Stand by B, sound roll B, dissolve.
I used to live here in Louisville, so
Stand by to lose super.
it's
Stand by
hard
live
to see
view
that
4.
The outcome of the verdict, is what it is. The
Lose
police
super.
have a responsibility, and they have a responsibility to do things
And then camera
correctly.
2, check your returns. Mike Q.
The city fired 3 officers and settled a wrongful death lawsuit with Taylor's family for $12 million. The investigation revealed a lie on the warrant that took officers to
Stand by
a
live
door,
view 4.
and no drugs were found.
Take.
Tonight,
Stand by
at 11,
E2,
we'll be
clean.
hearing
Stand by
from
to
the
flash.
attorney
Fallon
representing
reads on
Breonna
E2.
Taylor's then-boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. For now, live in Louisville, Breon Martin, WDRB News.
Flash.
Breon, thank
Stand
you.
by
Mayor
live view
Fisher
1
also
with Travis's
responding to the
name.
jury's decision,
Stand by to
saying,
tween.
quote, this adds to the frustration
Stand by to live
and
tween.
anger of many over the inability to find more accountability for the tragic
it's fine.
events of
I think
March
it's fine.
13, 2020. Fisher goes on to say, quote, Breonna Taylor
I think it's
should not
fine.
have died that night. And he says he knows that justice has not been
Live
achieved.
tween. Mike Gill. Stand by ME2A. Clean.
Courthouse from day one on this trial. He's also followed the case
Take.
from its beginning, and he's joining us now live. Travis, what's your takeaway from the verdict?
Stand by to roll A. Stand by to fly
Well, I think for me,
L3.
Gilbert, the first thing is
Roll A
that
effect.
this jury came back so quickly with this verdict. I mean, you mentioned it. You think about that they had more than 30 witnesses, 6 days of testimony, and the jury only took 3 hours to come to this decision.
During
So
the March
clearly
weather
they were
animation, we'll need to
swayed
reset
pretty
L1 and
quickly
2.
to
You can go ahead and
acquit
cue it
Brett
up if you
Hankinson
want.
in this trial.
8 men, 4 women decided Hankinson.
Stand by to
stayed
roll
today.
B.
Travis,
Stand by
what-
to dissolve
what's your biggest
ME3A.
notes on the jury in this trial? What swayed them?
One of the things I noticed.
Roll B.
Yeah, I think one
dissolve.
of the things that I noticed during this trial is that during the middle portions of this, when we were getting into the nitty-gritty of what happened, there was a lot of talk about ballistics, trajectories, training that Hankinson went through, and I think that it seemed like the jury was not paying as close of attention as they were when Hankinson was on the stand. That was when it seemed like the entire courtroom was focused in
Stand by
on him and what he
X
had
full.
to say and his story. It was the other things
Clean.
that prosecutors were trying to get to about ballistics, about bullet trajectory, that seemed to
Stand by
lose
to bring
the
in
jury
A on
little bit,
ME3,
and maybe
ME3A,
lose
A
their
on
focus
preview.
on what the prosecution was trying to do in this case.
Now looking ahead, there may be
Stand by
more to come with
X.
Hankinson, correct?
Correct. There's a few things that can
Roll
happen.
X,
First of all,
dissolve.
Hankinson is still facing several civil lawsuits. One
Stand by
from
single.
what were the victims in this case, not victims anymore. The 3 people that were living in the apartment next to Breonna Taylor. They are suing Hankinson as well as the city for $12 million.
Give me all 3 with
as a result
X
of this
in the
raid and the
box.
bullets that went into their apartment. Hankinson also facing a lawsuit from Kenneth Walker, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend at the time, who was inside of the apartment and is obviously
Stand by single.
the man who shot
ME2A.
at police when they burst through the door.
Dissolve.
There's also the possibility that Hankinson could try and get his job back, believe it or not. That was his appeal for
Stand
his
by
firing
3.
was on hold
Stand by
until
March
this trial
weather.
was over.
During March
So,
weather, we'll
in
reset
theory,
L1
he
and
could
2.
appeal to get his job back, and if he were to get his job back, he could then retire from the department with his full benefit package if he were to win that appeal. Remains to be seen if he will appeal. We don't have any indication at this point whether he will or will not.
Stand by Mark's
Federal
weather.
investigation happened, correct?
Stand by Live View 1
Correct.
with his
Federal
name. Stand by Live
authorities
View
still
1 with his name.
investigating all
Take.
of these
Stand by
officers that
single.
were involved. So this was just the state charges. These were the state charges. There still could be federal charges, but we know the Department of Justice is still looking into this raid. And we know that they're specifically looking into how the search warrant was acquired as well, but the shooting itself they're
Take.
looking into too.
Stand by 3. Stand by
Travis
Mark's
Jackson,
weather.
Thank you for your reporting.
Mark. Reset L1 and 2. Stand by cross shot.
Forecast has the seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society.
And we're out to 3.
It's been an
Stand by
all-around
camera
warm,
1.
mild week, but it's getting cold out there tonight.
It is chilly out there tonight.
Take
I
one.
think we're
Stand by
talking
weather
about it's gonna
graphics.
be much cooler than last night. I don't think necessarily it's the coldest
And
we'll see in the next 7 days.
dissolve.
But as you look
Camera
around
1,
our
go to
area
corner
right now, you can
3D.
see we still have high clouds that
Gil is
are
at the
starting
stack.
to erode. And you can really see when I take this out to the wider perspective, the trajectory slowly but surely will start to lift those clouds northward as we move through the overnight hours. So here's where we stand outside
Stand by
right
camera
now.
1. Stand by.
In downtown Louisville, we have skies that are trending
Dissolve.
partly cloudy, current temperature.
Camera 3 is next. Gil at the stack.
42 degrees with a northeast wind at 8
Camera
miles
2 will be an
an hour.
L1
Temperatures
shot
around
with
28.
Fallon.
Remember, if the air temperature gets near the dew point, it means frost is going to be a little bit more likely, and I do think that's part of the story as we go through the overnight hours. So here's advanced track. You can see that cloud cover. After midnight gets less, and really after 3 a.m., we trend towards a mostly clear sky, and I think that's where we're going. So you're looking at midnight at around 40. I think 3 a.m. around 37.
About 10 left in
And I
weather.
think we're mostly clear to start the morning off.
Very small
Louisville
step
in
to your right.
downtown, I've got 34, but when you step away from the city, almost everybody should
Stand
be
by
cold enough
3.
to generate frost. We are going to see temperatures soar as we go towards the weekend, and I want to talk about near record warmth in 10 minutes.
Take.
All right,
Stand by
Mark, we'll check
A.
back. You
VO.
see the
Banner.
events. Governor Eric Holcomb ended Indiana's public health emergency.
Roll A. Take.
This is Holcomb
Reset
signing
3D.
the order
Blur
into law.
V4.
Into effect at 7 o'clock tonight. On March 6, 2020, Holcomb signed the first public health emergency into law because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, nearly 2 years later, Holcomb has ended it. While the governor ended the health emergency, the bill still gives financial support to Hoosiers having trouble because of the
Stand by
pandemic.
2. Take.
Relief and
Stand by
rising
B.
gas prices
Sound.
stemming from the
With.
invasion of Ukraine. Today, Governor Andy Beshear addressed the biggest issues impacting Kentuckians.
Roll beats on take.
I know we're starting.
Stand by to lose super. Stand by camera 1. Melhorn, replay on that E3.
Aggression and invasion.
Lose
in Ukraine.
super. Stand by
But
to add
stopping
banner.
a dictator's
I raised that
aggression
stack on
has
E3.
always taken sacrifice.
Add banner,
Beshear
Mike
says
Q.
the
Stand by
Capitol
camera
and
1.
Governor's mansion are lit blue and
I thought
yellow
we were
for
going to
Ukraine.
fish
He
fry
also
next.
says $5.7 million in
Must be
tornado
hungry
relief
still.
funding is headed to victims to help with home insurance deductibles.
Stand by
The
1.
governor says hospitalizations are declining and fewer than 100 Kentuckians are on ventilators.
Take 1.
Ash Wednesday marked the beginning
Alright,
of the
stand by
Lent
camera
season.
2.
Christians
We'll have
all
a
over the
DRB
world.
animation.
It's also
Camera
the start
2.
of
Tease
Fish
is
Fry
next.
Fridays, which helps various Catholic churches, organizations, and nonprofits raise money. Right now on WDRB.com, we've got a list of 9 groups holding Friday fish fries for the next several
DRB
weeks.
animation.
That list will grow.
Stand by
as we
2.
learn
Stand by 2
more.
dissolve. Tease is next.
Make sure to keep an eye out also for the Codfather, who is sure to make an appearance soon on WDRB.
Dissolve.
Codfather,
Stand by X.
aka
VO. Stand by to flash.
Mike
Nice
Marshall.
Marshall. Love it.
Traffic actor. No more Amazon store for Oxmoor. Why
Somebody
Louisville
flash
isn't
to
the
X.
only place losing out on the retail giants.
Roll X flash.
Plus,
Stand by to number 1 to A.
lawmakers in hot water. The comments they made that have Jewish organizations pushing for sensitivity training in
Effect. Roll A. Stand by to fade to black. Stand by your breakmaster.
Also, an arrest in a shooting at an Indianapolis community center last week, and how police say it started at the basketball court.
And fade to black for your break. Good job, everybody.
So